Everyone, Radhe Radhe. So I had a scare yesterday almost. I was so exhausted. There is a new temple that has been built here, a new ISKCON temple in the same city that I'm in, and they had an installation yesterday, Pran Pratishtha. So that new deity installation basically, and it was the whole thing. There was just so much whirlwind of energy there. Everybody was caught up in it. It was super fun, and I got just somehow I got very 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 tired, and I was like I wasn't able to do my walk. So yeah, anyways, I just woke up and I'm feeling so much better, so much fresher now. I'm excited. I'm happy to get the day started, and I already had a few breakthroughs, and I'm going to share one of that with you. Um, okay, about a week ago, there is a person called Premanand Maharaj who I listen to. He is a spiritual leader. He lives in India. And he was saying, so this is more the content of this is more I mean, not the purpose of this. So there are two aspects of it. One is a learning that I had, which is more of a spiritual learning. And then the other is the personal growth aspect of it, which is the main focus as to how it affected me and then how I worked through it. How it made me feel not good enough and how I worked through that to be like, okay, no, I'm reclaiming that. Okay, so what happened was he suggested, and this is a great idea for those of you who are spiritual and who want to think about God. He suggested think about God. He believes in Radha, so he said think about Radha. But God or whoever you believe in, every 10 minutes. And make this decision that you're going to think about God every 10 minutes. Just say the name. Like for him, it was say Radha every 10 minutes. That's it. You don't have to do anything big. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just say the name Radha every 10 minutes. And he's like, when you do that, your mind is constantly going to be remembering. I try to set the alarm, an interval alarm or whatever to remember. But then I was like, no, that's not the point. The point is to remember Radha as much as possible, right? And I love that I'm using Radha also. I'm not even saying Krishna, I'm saying Radha. So I was like, I want the mind to constantly be like, oh, has it been 10 minutes yet? Because that's what he said. Because that he said that the mind is just constantly going to try to remember, oh, it's been 10 minutes, I should think about Radha. So constantly it's going to be thinking about Radha in the subconscious mind, and then it'll switch to 24 hours pretty quickly, he said, much faster than otherwise. Because that's the ultimate goal, is to think about God all the time. And this was about a week ago, and I loved this idea. I thought this was an absolute miraculous idea. I was so blown away by this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to implement it. So I started to do that, and many times, like yesterday, many hours would pass and I wouldn't think about Radha, and then I would feel guilty, and then I would feel guilty about feeling guilty, because I know that guilt is not going to help me get to that place. Like, I don't want to feel bad about it. Whenever I do think, I want to feel grateful that I thought about Radha. So I would feel bad about feeling bad, but then I would be like, okay, this is good. So I would convert myself to feeling this is good. But the next time I would forget, I would still feel bad. So I was like, in this morning, I woke up and the first thing, I did not think of Radha. I thought of something else and I got caught up in my phone. And then a few minutes later, I was like, oh, I didn't think of Radha. And I felt guilty again. And I was like, okay, I've been doing this personal growth course, so I learned from that little bits, pieces, and I took from that. And it's just basically the thoughts that we have in our minds, that takes up real estate. That is very important. I mean, it takes up very important real estate. So what are the thoughts that we're putting in our mind, and how do we live intentionally? Now everybody talks about live intentionally, but what does that mean, and how does that really translate to real day-to-day practical lives? So this is what I learned, and this was huge. It was so good. It was, I am going to reclaim that. I'm going to reclaim that in a real way. I've tried to reclaim that and say, no, this is a good thing. I know this is a good thing that I'm thinking of Radha, even if it's been 2-3 hours. If I hadn't been doing this exercise, I would not have been thinking about Radha the whole day, right? So now at least I thought about Radha after 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, which is a good thing. It is, I know that. So I was saying that to myself until yesterday, until this morning. But then I was still feeling guilty. So I was like, okay, how do I reclaim this? This is how I reclaim. Sorry for the recap. Okay. How I reclaimed this was saying, this is an absolute miracle. It is an absolute miracle that Radha Krishna have sent me so I was like going one after the another, like finding what is the good in it, really reclaiming it, not just passively saying, no, this is a good thing, don't feel bad. Like a friend would say to another person, no, no, this is a good thing, don't feel bad. That doesn't work. That didn't work for me. Okay, it might work for people. It didn't work for me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to intentionally think about all of the good things. And it's not just this is a good thing that I'm thinking, but this is an absolute miracle that Radhakrishna sent me that video just at the right time to encourage me to think about Radha or them, God, every 10 minutes. That itself is a miracle, because that the video exists, that this person thought of that this person came up with such a brilliant practical idea to do that, and that I happened upon that video, right? And that we have internet, that we have YouTube, this was on YouTube, that we have YouTube, that we have all of these resources at our fingertips, that this guy is sitting in India. This guy with such practical, beautiful wisdom is sitting in India, and he's sharing all of this stuff on YouTube. He doesn't have to share it, but he is sharing it on YouTube. And I, sitting here in US in Seattle, is benefiting from someone as wise and beautiful as him. Like that's an absolute, and that I happened to chance upon the millions and millions of videos of YouTube that he also has. I've listened to many videos of his. This was probably the most powerful one. I mean, every time I listen to him, I'm almost every time, I feel like I'm transported to a whole different world. It's just so good. He's so, I mean, he says exactly the thing that I need to hear always, it seems like. Like Krishna is just sending his videos to me just so that I can listen to him exactly when I want to. But this particular one is the most powerful, I think. This has the potential to completely transform my spiritual life, because I think this is right. I mean, I'm constantly thinking, has it been 10 minutes yet? And even if it hasn't, I just say Radha anyways. Whenever I remember, even if I know if it's only been 2 minutes, I say Radha anyways. I'm like, okay, I don't know when I'm going to remember next, so it's just saying Radha. It doesn't matter, so I'll just say it softly. So, sorry, my watch is distracting me. Okay, so that is the thing is, it is an absolute miracle. So I'm putting in intention and thought behind. I'm saying this is an absolute miracle that I got to know it. Now, the second thing that's a miracle is that it's been a week and I'm still doing this exercise. How many times has it happened that I've done it for a day or two and then I lose interest, right? Or I do it like, or it just goes back. Like I was like, no, I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to be okay with just remembering every 2-3 hours. I mean, it's okay that I'm not going to feel bad about it, but I'm going to make a renewed decision that no, I'm going to do it every 10 minutes. It's okay that I missed it in the last 2-3 hours, but I'm not going to just let it slip and let it be, and it's okay, like that kind of. No, I want to do this every time. I'm committed to it. I'm committed. So it's a miracle that 7 days later I'm still so committed to it that I'm thinking very actively, how can I make myself more committed, less guilty, and more committed? Get to the root of this, right? That's another miracle. The other thing that I was saying, that this is going to be an identity shift. My identity has been that I'm not consistent with things. I know I am. I'm shooting these videos and I lose track in the middle. I have not shot for a few months, but then I came back. And so I know that I'm consistent, but somehow there is a story in my head, maybe because I lost a few weeks, or maybe because I've given up some things, and I have given up things over time, or whatever. But I have this story that I'm not consistent, I'm not hardworking, I have this, I'm too weak. Other people are strong. I'm too physically weak, I'm too emotionally weak, I can't do these things. And I know them to be true. I talked about them yesterday in the previous videos, that how I overcame that, or I mean, how I'm working through that. Because the idea is that even if I have one piece of evidence that I have done difficult things, that that I've been emotionally strong, then that statement is no longer true. So yeah, so this basically I'm going to use as evidence that even 7 days later, I'm so committed that I'm thinking actively about ways on how I can improve my processes. And the fourth thing is, I also feel that I don't pivot. I don't know how to pivot, because there have been some evidence where I haven't pivoted, but there has been millions of evidences where I have pivoted. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use this as evidence that I can pivot and improve processes, right? If some things are not working out, then I can think about them and I can improve processes so that they work better. So I'm taking all of this one example, and I am building myself up by actively thinking in a positive direction. How can I celebrate this thing rather than just say, oh, it's okay, you'll don't worry about it, you will, it's a good thing that you remembered. It's not like that. I'm like, no, I'm intentional about this, and I'm going to extract the juice from this situation. I'm going to extract self-esteem from this situation, confidence from this situation, a belief in myself. Because even if we talk in terms of the spiritual world, not believing in myself and believing nothing happens for me and all that, that is tamas gun. That is a mode of ignorance. That is not mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is, that's not humility. That is humility is the mode of goodness, but humility is knowing that I have the strength and everybody else also has the strength, and I'm going to use my strengths in service of God. Okay, so yeah, this is my learning. So I hope this helped. Wish you a day filled with lots and lots and lots of personal growth. Radhe.